Hey dudes, Nura here. Some quick tips and tricks for the Op Z. Things you might not have heard and you might go, oh, I wanted to know how it did that. So let's have a quick look. Empty track, we'll select a bass track, 3/3. Okay, we'll quickly put something in. So we'll arm record play, and then when we hit record, when we hit a note, it'll start recording. So now, to add, slide, glide, whatever you want to call it, portamento, we press track and we add red. So you can hear how mad it'll go. But you can find it just right. And then you can go add a bit of filter, resonance on full, get that little squelch. Tip 2, link tracks. You might be thinking, oh, it'd be nice to be able to play a bass part and a lead part at the same time. Not many people know about this one. If we press track and press bass and synth at the same time, they're now linked. And you can do this for multiple. You can't do it like that, or it selects them separately. You have to press and hold them all at the same time. So let's go, boom, 4 fingers. Playing all 4 at once, so we can do it with drum tracks. So that's playing a kick, a snare, a hi-hat and a sample at the same time. So you can do some really interesting stuff with that, or you can do kick, drum and bass. And get super tight. I've just thought of that actually. Sweet. Tip number 3. Check battery. You might be like, I'm not sure how much battery's left, certainly at a gig. Press and hold screen, and that's your battery indicator. So we're at about 75 or something. Tip number 4, reverse your drums. So let's put in a really simple pattern. Let's have a listen. So we'll go back to his kick, and now this one, when we're on white LED, the blue is reversing the sample. So our kick's now reversed, we'll reverse the snare, we'll reverse those hi-hats. Tip 5, add swing. Okay, so we'll put in a really simple beat. So now, to add swing, we hold BPM, which is our little metronome, and our blue dial, add swing. Which moves the notes slightly, so it adds some egg roll like Kendrick instead of just a circle. So green is the midpoint, that's straight. Tip number 6, Quantise. Still got the odd sequence running. So now all we have to do to quantize and hold track, and it's moved them all onto the grid perfectly. Original, straightened up slightly. And that's just the hi-hat track, so we can quantize the snare, and now we'll quantize the bass drum. See, that's made it swing because I put them in odd. So you can literally do anything, because we could get rid of everything again and just put them in on the grid. So my live ones have gone now. Tip 7, levels. Now when you're using a little speaker like this or the inbuilt one, this isn't as important because you can't tell, but I've used this at gigs, and if you've accidentally turned up the level on each track, each individual track, like see there, that went from like an amber to bright yellow. Bright yellow was adding gain and adding volume. So when we press our master track, sorry, not master, because this is called master, levels this sort of track. So we can see this here. Now if we went into an individual track and start turning all those up, you might be like, oh, okay, that's better, it's louder. But then when we press this, you can see it's starting to clip. Now a mistake I made, tip 8, to stop all MIDI notes, keep pressing stop. Now a mistake I made was when I was at home programming stuff for the gig, like beats, I turned them up for some reason. I think I turned the hi-hats up, and then as you do, you make everything else compensate. And at the gig, through the PA, it was distorting, and it was because this was clipping. So what you need to do is on yellow track, leave them all at about 50% on your amber. So now when we press our levels track, look, we've got no clipping, and red is an actual independent volume. So if you were struggling against a guitarist or whatever, you can turn it up, but you don't want it to start clipping. That's a wonderful little feature, that, because it's showing you when it clips by going red, like most things do, green to red. So we're safe. Tip 9, compressor. So on our level track again, how red was level, if we press this track again, our levels track, mixer I believe it's called, I just remember, yellow is compressor now. So it's added a compressor, and a compressor makes in basic terms, a compressor makes low volume levels higher and your high volume levels lower. It compresses them together so everything's at a more even volume, there's less dynamic range. So again, this track levels, so say we muted by pressing levels again. Tip 10, mute tracks. So now we've got our drums going, and drums sound really good with compressor. So again, we'll press mixer, we'll turn it up slightly. Now those drums are getting nice and compressed. This is indicating the levels. You can bring it in and out. And it's hard to represent on this tiny little speaker here so you can hear my voice, but I've used this through a PA and it has a massive effect on it. It really does squish things up and you can get that side chain effect.